Every week, I edit a video that holds a piece of myself. And sometimes the fear of failure makes me feel unmotivated to upload. This is a place that has truly changed my life, and a space that occupies a big part of my mind. The constant numerical pressure and the dopamine hits from viral videos, and the desire to maintain what once was. The higher the climb, the scarier the fall. And so sometimes I ask myself, when will I feel content with myself? Today we are going to be talking about how to get motivated, especially when you don't feel like it. And I don't know about you, but lately I have been feeling like I am in a funk. I haven't been doing so great, so I hope that this video kind of brings a warm little hug for you. After dedicating over 10 years of my life to education, I let go of teaching to pursue content creation and being a YouTuber full time. I was already teaching and creating vlogs and videos for 5 years. When I let teaching go, it kind of felt like I lost something. Initially, I felt like a huge weight was lifted off of my shoulders. 50 plus hours a week, freed. My weekends were finally my own, where I didn't have to think about what am I planning next for my students. I didn't have the Sunday scaries anymore, but I was working for myself. Finally, I didn't have to plan every minute of every hour of every day for myself and my students, and it could just be my time. But you know, truly the grass seems greener on the other side, because 6 months have passed now and I am feeling this huge feeling of loss has come over me. Now that I am here, it truly does not satisfy. Very quickly, I then went into this feeling of guilt and shame of, why am I being so ungrateful? I should be so thankful to have this. And that really doesn't help with my mental health either. And feelings are feelings. And so I wanted to really take time to try to feel better. But to be honest, I have not felt like doing anything. And I just thought, what is wrong with me? Because I used to do this while teaching. And I know some people might be watching this and thinking, well, then just go back to teaching. Well, that thought has come across my mind because our brains love comfort zones. It loves familiarity, routine. I know I left teaching for a reason. And of course, naturally, when I'm feeling very uncomfortable, my mind and my body is thinking, let's just go back to what you know. Let's go back to what you did before. But I left for a reason. And just because I feel uncomfortable right now does not mean that it just negates everything that I felt before leading up to the decision. It does not mean that it was the wrong decision. Whether social media shows it or not, we all go through really hard times. And I think the biggest guilt that I feel right now is that I know I can do more. Man, this time is so precious and so valuable. I just don't want to waste it. I don't feel like doing anything. Kind of coming up from that now. And so I want to talk a little bit more about motivation. So I was listening to a productivity podcast called Redeeming Productivity, and the podcast host was basically talking all about, why do we feel unmotivated? How do you get motivated? It's essentially a formula. Why do you want to do whatever it is that you want to do? Times, how are you going to do whatever it is you want to do? Minus, how much pain are you willing to go through to get it done? Now, when it comes to being productive and getting things done, there is some form of pain involved, whether it's an inconvenience, whether there is some resistance, you are dealing with something uncomfortable. For example, let's say you want to pick up a side hustle. You want to do something on the side, let's say tutoring. Why do you want to do it? Because you want to have extra income and you want to be able to afford going out or eating with friends and having some extra spending money. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say that reason is like a 6. Times, how are you going to start this plan? I have no idea. No plan in place. I don't know how I'm going to get people. I don't know when I'm going to tutor. So that plan is like a 0. Minus, what's the pain or the cost of tutoring? I guess it's a little inconvenient to go drive to a place and tutor someone. So the pain, I'd say, is about like a 4 or 5. So if you take 6 times 0, it's 0. You're really probably not going to get it done. And now to fix this, we need to create, okay, how are you going to do this? So using that formula, you can kind of figure out, okay, your reason and your plan needs to be greater than your pain. If you give yourself a good enough reason and a plan to execute whatever it is you want to do, you're going to do it. Now, whenever you're feeling unmotivated or you're feeling kind of down, here are 10 steps to walk you through that. Number 1 is to identify the cause of what is this funk. For me, I I first kept saying, I don't know why I'm just so unhappy when I should be grateful and thankful and happy. And it took a while for me to pinpoint, I think it's the loss of my career. And the reason why it took me so long is because I never really attached myself to being a teacher. I didn't feel like my identity was rooted in teaching, but apparently it was. And it shouldn't be, because I am more than my career. Think, is it work related, personal related, relationships, family? What is the cause of you feeling like you're in a funk? Understanding the root can help you address it effectively. Number 2, when you are in a funk, you really need to be mindful to take care of yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. When I was telling my therapist about what's been going on, she told me you need to take some time to give yourself space to rest, which means canceling some of your plans, not getting to everything on your to-do list, and also socializing even if you don't feel like it. Go and talk to friends that you care about who care about you. So I ended up telling some of my friends, I'm not doing so great. It was hard to be very vulnerable and to say, I'm not okay, but it's okay to not be okay. Number 3, practicing gratitude. It's really easy to not be grateful when we're in a funk or we don't feel motivated. But I do find that gratitude is a great motivator, and my husband had me, tell him 5 things I am grateful for today. And I think the more easily you can say 5 things, the better you start to feel. No matter how small it seems, we can choose to be grateful for anything. Number 4, make a plan. I am a planner, so when you can pinpoint the cause of the issue, go ahead and do something about it. So when I realized, okay, I think letting teaching go is really negatively affecting me, but I still want time freedom. I still need to make my YouTube videos, do need more time, maybe just not this much time. And so I started looking into, okay, maybe I can go and tutor another student so I can have that connection. And I am looking into subbing as well, because that is something that I did before I started teaching. And it's a great way to pick and choose your schedule, because you can say you're not available a certain day, but I still get to be in the classroom and be a teacher. So that's my plan in taking control of the situation a little bit. Number 5, get moving. Now sometimes it's really hard to get our bodies moving, especially when we don't feel like it. But I have gotten into such a routine of moving my body that I almost feel guilty when I don't. So we want to have a balance. You shouldn't be that extreme. So I've been trying to be okay with giving myself rest days and saying, no, we don't need to go to a workout today. We can stay inside. It's okay. But I do try to walk a lot, because I find that walking allows me to think and to process rather than just sitting still. Number 6, make sure you're still connecting with people and others, which I touched on a little bit earlier, but socializing is something that can feel really hard. And I have noticed that I am quieter in social settings nowadays than I was before, but that's okay. But really processing and hearing from other people can help you get a different perspective as well. Number 7, seek help if needed. If you're feeling really overwhelmed, don't be afraid to ask for help. Whether it's from a therapist or whether it is your significant other, just let them know, I need some help. I actually stopped going to therapy for about 3 months after 3 years of going. And I stopped going because I felt like I think I've worked through a lot of things with my therapist already. So now it's time for me to lie and just kind of figure it out as I go. But then this happened. Number 8, find new hobbies or interests. So something that has really distracted me lately is watching a brand new Korean drama called Crash Course in Romance. I am very invested in the characters and the storyline, and so at night I just watch that and I am excited and I like it. It really distracts my mindset from whatever rabbit hole it wants to go in. Trying a different workout, trying a different sport, or even if it's pottery, crocheting, literally just investing your creativity that doesn't require a lot of brain power. Number 9, change your routine. Doing the same thing every single day can start to feel monotonous, and it can contribute to feelings of boredom and low motivation, because you're like, another day, same thing. So try to change it up a little bit. Maybe it's listening to music while you're working, or maybe it's standing and sitting or walking. But I think trying different workouts is a great motivator. Number 10, be kind to yourself. I have been really mindful of how I speak to myself and the words that I allow to permeate in my mind and my heart. I don't say negative things like, you're so dumb, or you're so worthless, or how could you not do this? Because it doesn't help anybody, and it definitely doesn't help you. And you feel unmotivated, it's for a reason. Something is happening in your mind and in your heart where you don't want to do the things that you need to do. So give yourself grace and be patient, because you're going to get through it. There's a difference between being lazy and then just truly not feeling like doing anything. Ask yourself, yourself, are you lazy? And if you are, then that just means you have a low threshold for resistance and pain. And the only way to increase that is to go through resistance and pain so that you get stronger. So getting out of a funk and feeling motivated does take time and effort. It doesn't just happen passively. You don't magically just start to feel like doing a bunch of things. Unless you watch this video and that helps. Remember that it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay that way. So take small steps every day and eventually you're going to see so much growth and change. I hope you guys like this video. Warm hugs to you all. We're all just growing and changing together. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe and I'll see you later.